What's up to Lion Talk Live? So we love you too, buddy.
What's going on, guys? It is Aiden Hutchinson.
What's up, man? It's your boy Amon-Ra St. Brown.
What's going on, Coach Dan at Lions Talk Live and the Duke Crew. This is Ball Hawk, Fatima LaFawn of the Detroit Lions. Everybody make sure you help support the YouTube channel Lions Talk Live by clicking that like and subscribe button. Let's get it and go Detroit.
Greetings and salutations to everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Dan Skipper, offensive weapon for the Detroit Lions. Make sure you all help support Lions Talk Live and Coach Dan by clicking on that like and subscribe button. Everybody, woo!
All right, greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I am your host once again, Dan Thornton, and I want to thank you all for tuning in today. Lions Talk Live morning show edition, and I think we can have a strong debate today, as I'm sure we will with the Duke Crew. Everybody in the comments section, the Detroit Lions, with everything they added to the team, with the 53-man roster, and now with the practice squad, and man, that might be the strongest practice squad I've ever seen. Maybe even across the entire NFL, other teams are going to look with envy at what Detroit has accumulated. I also get why they put some of these guys on the practice squad versus the 53-man roster, because I think there's a real strong, when we analyze it, take to be had, that other teams aren't going to be as likely to go out and snatch some of these guys from us, etc. Yes, you can protect a few of them on the practice squad. You can't protect them all. Also, at the bottom of the hour, we've got a special guest here today. Some of you guys know his work. He's great at what he does. Derek Coleman from All 22 Films is going to join us as our guest for the day. And then we've got Kurt, the Hitman Steele, coming on. You guys know him, the living legend, the 16-time world's heavyweight champion. He'll be joining us tomorrow. Working on a couple of guests still for this weekend. All right, I wanted to start this show off a little early just so we had more time for our guest today. So without further ado, let's get into it. If you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. We're about 60 subs away from hitting 7,700 subs. So if you take a half second of time, hit that thumbs up button, that'd be great. Also, it's free of charge. It's real quick and easy to do. Go ahead and hit that thumbs up button, the like button, whatever you want to call it button. We try to get every episode between 200 to 300 or more thumbs up or likes. As you guys know, it helps the channel out a lot. Also, lastly, if you're looking for a good book to read, maybe you're into historical fiction, please consider going to Amazon.com, I guess eBay, or wherever you purchase your books, and search for Kajora book. It's the first one of a 9-part series. The second book gets released next year. All right, without further ado, let's get to the first segment of the day, and that's going to be your 5 headlines now. All right, 5 headlines now, and hey, it's a little bit of a calm before the storm. As most of you are probably aware, 1 week from tonight, and the NFL returns. It'll be out there playing on next Thursday and then next Friday. So get ready to buckle in. The long season is about ready to kick off, and I'm glad that the NFL is getting here sooner versus later. But as far as news, probably coming into this weekend, it will be a slower time. So don't expect a lot of, not like the last 2 days, where, man, it's almost been like Christmas or the draft again. So, all right, let's get into it. Lions and Packers and Vikings and Bears. Oh, my, exclamation point. The NFC North has become a daunting division. This is from the Associated Press, Dave Campbell. He's been a pretty good reporter during his time there. He was not there when I was there, I can tell you that. But, hey, he does a real good job of doing a deep dive on the teams, the division, etc. I know you, me, and everybody in the Duke Crew, we've been talking about it for some time, that the NFC North may be the NFL's top division. And he kind of corroborates that with this story. So if you get a little free time this weekend or whatever, you're going to find more and more articles like this coming out. I know we've got our predictions video, etc., coming out. But at any rate, you want somebody who's neutral, telling you what is or isn't with the division. Check this one out. All right, Detroit Lions bring back former Cleveland Browns wide receiver. Sports Illustrated story by Evan Masley. So yesterday when the practice squad was released, you had conflicting information emerging. Was Donovan Peoples-Jones added to the practice squad? Was he not? I still haven't seen anything official. I know we saw stuff from Adam Scheffler saying he was. Then when he got the Lions official listing, he wasn't. So I think it's just some contract negotiate or details that haven't yet been finalized. But my anticipation is Donovan Peoples-Jones is going to be a part of the practice squad It's just I don't think there's anything official out there just yet. It could be just splitting hairs on that, but we'll get to it later. All right, Lions looking to take another step to reach the Super Bowl for first time in franchise history. Again, from the Associated Press, they jump in on it and do a deep dive analyzation of where the Detroit Lions are. But basically what we're going to do today, they're going to break down all the stuff that make the team as far as the 53-man roster, then also the practice squad. They do a pretty good job and come up to basically a lot of the same opinions I think most of us have on the franchise at this time. All right, Detroit Lions make a decision on third quarterback. The heavy story by Annie Erickson. So most of us, I think, going into cuts, felt that Nate Sudfeld was indeed going to be the backup quarterback for the Detroit Lions. A lot of that's based on what MCDC had to say. A lot of that just, the stubbornness of the franchise, I guess you could say, in that regard. He was going to be the next Tim Boyle. But wait, not so fast. Went with something else. And then, hey, it does look like the Lions are going to have as their emergency quarterback Jake Fromm. We're all probably pretty happy about that, I'm going to assume. And who knows, maybe there's a battle between him and Hendon Hooker to see who could be the backup on a particular given day. Hendon Hooker, there's zero chance this guy's ever going to be put on the practice squad. I think we all get it. Teams would acquire him and take him real quick. He did show some real good stuff this preseason. I think they're going to have to keep nurturing him along. But one thing I can say is they didn't get rid of Nate Sudfeld unless they felt very confident in Fromm and Hendon Hooker. Hendon Hooker, I believe Ben Johnson and Mark Brunell said, hey, this guy's going to be fine. He just needs more time. Let us keep working with him and get him to where he needs to be. All right, and then the last of the 5 headlines now. Many of you have been asking about Matthew Betts, and former Lions linebacker Matthew Betts returns to the CFL, signs with the BC Lions. This is from Lions Wire, came out late last night, early this morning, or whatever you want to say. He's a fan favorite without doubt. But I'm not sure why they didn't keep him on the practice squad. What I can tell you is nobody looked to claim him. He didn't look to sign with anybody else in the NFL. This would be my anticipation or a strong sign that there just wasn't a good offer out there from another NFL team. So he went back to, hey, where he's going to be successful, probably well paid and taken care of. Good for him. Keep it going. He's 29 coming up on 30. Could the Lions always call him back and say, hey, we got a spot now? Yes, they could. But unfortunately for now, he is not a Detroit Lion. All right, we don't really have any NFC news or North notes of the day, so let's just go ahead and get into the main topic of the day. All right, main topic of the day, as you guys can tell from the thumbnail for today's video, I'm thinking the Detroit Lions have the NFL's best team now. When you look over all the different spots, from quarterback to punter, long snapper to running back, defensive line to offensive line, everything in between. I just don't see any real holes on this team. If you guys do, I'm going to want to see it in those comments sections, so don't be afraid to throw it in there. But let's real quick look over the 53-man roster and, see what you guys have to say about it. But I will say this is going to be the deepest Detroit Lions team I think any of us have ever seen. You can go to like 20 different websites and probably find out stuff on it, but I think you're finding more and more national media also saying Detroit Lions, what they just added to the team, to the wide receiver room, the perceived weakness of the team. There'll be some question marks for sure, but I think it'll be great to talk to our guest about it too today when we get Derek on later. But I think the Lions hit the nail on the head when it comes to filling out the rest of the roster, getting it to where it needs to be to really be able to say, hey, if we're not the best roster in the NFL, we're pretty much right there. All right, starting with your quarterback, Jared Goff. Yes, he's not a scrambling man. I think we all get it. He's not going to outrun anybody getting into the end zone on a regular basis. But when you got some of the reserves in the team, I think you've got a real strong team with Hendon Hooker as your primary backup, etc. Looking at the running back position, if you guys feel like there's a better running back group out there than the Detroit Lions, I'd like to hear it, because could you always Scooby-Doo it and say there's somebody a little bit different here and there? Sure. But I think what we can say now is the Detroit Lions potentially have the best running back group out there. You go from Vaki, Reynolds, and obviously our starters with Gibbs and Montgomery are pretty dang awesome to have. Now, what I would say is who's better in the league in that regards from 1 through 4? I'll leave that up to you. Tight end position. Hey, a lot of people weren't so sure about Hess. Were a lot of questions because of his age, the fact he'd been around the league, and he's going to be your number 3. But you know what? The Lions, I'm going to say this. While I did in my original 53-man roster preview, I had him on the team. Then I didn't have him the following week. Then I didn't the third week. Lions coaching staff clearly has something with him that they feel that there's a reason why you got him there, so why not keep him there? Going out of the wide receiver room, hey, that was the big question mark, right? Everybody was like, all right, St. Brown, we all get. He's one of the NFL's elite wide receivers. Jamison Williams, we haven't seen it yet, but we saw flashes throughout the second half of last year, and including the playoffs. This guy might be ready to launch. And we've got corroborating information from not only other beat reporters, but what we've seen in the preseason, or excuse me, not the games, but just the training camp. He might also be ready to make a huge jump forward. Khalif Raymond, I think most people were pretty happy with for a third receiver or an option to play in the third. Isaiah Williams really emerged, and now you've added a gluttony of bigger body wide receivers who can come on in. So whether it's Tim Patrick, Donovan Peoples-Jones, Allen Robinson, we're no longer the Smurfs out there. We have some size and some ability. Can Allen Robinson return to the form of a couple years ago where he was one of the NFL's best receivers? I guess that's going to have to wait to see, but the Lions clearly felt there's enough there to bring him on in. Going out of the offensive line, hey, we all get it. These guys, if they're not the number 1 offensive line unit in the NFL, they're in the top 3, and now they've got a lot of youth and depth there as well. It seems like a home run move to me, if you're asking. My question, as it probably was a lot of you when it came to the defensive line, is what to do if DJ Reader's not fully ready to go. Well, when the Lions let go of Kyle Pico, that did raise some question marks. Pico's back, though, so I think we're probably good there. My one real concern was, the release of Pico, but now that he's back, I have zero concerns with it as far as getting through a couple games until Broderick Martin probably returns. Chris Smith, another big plus. The fact that they were able to re-sign him to the practice squad, I think that's a real chef's kiss move. Also, I kind of glossed over it with an offensive line. You guys heard me and probably 50 other people hype up the fact that Detroit Lions had Jamarco Jones backing up some of the tackle positions on the offensive line. Sorsdale, a lot of us were up and down on him. Yes, he's got potential. Yes, he looks good sometimes. Yes, he also falls down at other times and doesn't look so great. So the fact that you're able to keep him on the offensive line as well, another real chef's kiss move by Brad Holmes. Going to the linebacker room, I'm not going to bore us to death. We had 50 different guys in there. At Mitchell Aguye, the fact he's back, I think, is a massive win for this team. And not just him, but you've got just so many other parts that have been put in or returning to the team that I think it's hard to really find any areas of concern with the linebacker room. So, a great move by the Detroit Lions, making that group even deeper, in my opinion. Now you go to the secondary, and man, if there's a weakness in this secondary, the only thing I can think of is that they need some games to just kind of gel together, get worked in together, but the talent's all there, the speed, the athleticism's there. I think this is going to be the deepest Detroit Lions secondary we've seen in my lifetime, and that's getting up there. So, all right, punter and kicker, I guess you could debate. Punter, not so much. I mean, Jack Fox is one of the best in the league. No debates there probably from anybody. The kicker spot, yes, Jake Bates. He's had some moments. You got some question marks with him, but he does seem like every week he's getting a little bit more and more accurate and a little less worries. So once they get him developed, is he going to be one of the NFL's biggest leg and accurate kickers? I guess we'll have to wait and see. All right, we've got about 18 minutes until our guest gets here, so let's hop on over to the Duke Crew, see what you guys have to say. I did start the show about a minute or so early just so we can get a few more comments here. All right, Michael Greens, the Salutations Coach and Duke Crew, Super Bowl or bust, one pride. Woo, woo. And yes, I concur, and congrats to you on another great morning, my friend. Jason, greetings and salutations to the Lions Talk Live den of Honolulu Blue Kool-Aid. Drinking maniacs, Superdome or bust, 100%. And yes, we need to negotiate a time to reveal the Tree of Destiny. Mike the Brain Gunny, howdy do crew, believers. Love our Lions roster and practice squad. Looks amazing. Woo! So which 4 players would you protect on the practice squad? I guess if it's me right now, Patrick would be number one. Boy, after that, if it was me, it'd probably be, let's see, Kyle Pico, Jamarco Jones, and then you probably filling in from there. Maybe Kingsley. Boy, man, that's a great question. Who do you do as the final one? I think the top three would be fairly easy for me. After that, I guess it really comes down to a week-on-week basis there. So go with that for now, Gunny. See, Don and Brad isn't done just yet either! Exclamation point. There's something coming down the pipe. Stay tuned. There might be, and I know there's been some speculations. I was sad to see Brown sign with the Commanders. It is what it is. I guess you don't get everything you want, but I would not be surprised if by Monday morning Brad Holmes has done something else to, in his opinion, improve the team. Moonscar, good morning, Duke Crew starters! Exclamation point. Donovan Peoples-Jones is on the practice squad, but that was not reported on the ESPN transactions yesterday. With all the other signings, need just 1 to 3 tall veteran vested, 1 to 3 tall wide receiver vets to step up. Yeah, and I think that's the idea. You got a few now. I've watched a little bit of Tim Patrick's game film now. If he is healthy, I think probably by the middle of the season, he's your clear number 3 wide receiver. Maybe him and Khalif Raymond split times based on scenarios for that 3 spot. But the Detroit Lions wide receiver room will be pretty dang solid if, let's just say, he's your number 4, Khalif Raymond your 3, Isaiah Williams number 5, and then maybe Donovan Peoples-Jones or Allen Robinson emerges as your number 6. I think you're pretty set there. All right, Matthew, what's that? Greetings, salutations. Good morning, everyone. Superdome, Super Bowl. Woo, woo, woo. Sheila likes a woo in the morning. Good old Duke Crew. There we go. So let's give you a Sheila. And there you go. And yes, that really is Sheila Hampford doing the woo. Trump, woo! Trump's for moderator. There we go. John, good morning. Hope all is well with everyone. Let's go 100%. Jason, how do we keep Brad and the coaching crew together going forward? Coaching crew going forward if we win it all? Question mark. Ben Johnson? Question mark. That man, I think if we win it all, when we win the Super Bowl this year, Jason, that's gonna be the tough part because hey, everybody's gonna want to advance their career. They're gonna want to take that next step. I think at that point, you're probably losing 1 or 2 guys on the staff, maybe more. John, let the good times roll 100%. And good morning, Moonscar. I didn't see Hakeem Butler sign anywhere, and Betts went back to the Canadian Lions. Good luck to him. Yeah, I haven't seen anything on Butler. I haven't really scanned other teams that much. Just haven't had a ton of time to do that. But yeah, I don't think he has signed anywhere just as of yet. See, Jason, make Trump's genius moderator again. There you go. There you go. Trump's, how many players can we protect on practice squad? I think we're going to get sniped. I think we will too. I want to say we can protect 4 players. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. We've got 16 we can keep on the team. 17 if there's an international player. But I think you can protect 4. See, John, Thunder and Lightning strikes again. Correct. I'll go with that. Kim, anyone here of a more elite wide receiver we're trying to get, or are we done? That's the billion-dollar question. I had heard a rumor yesterday. I think I mentioned it, that Noah Brown was going to try to come to Detroit, but I just couldn't get anybody to confirm that. And then we did find out he signed with the Commanders. So I have not heard anything official as of yet if somebody else is potentially coming in there, Kim, but I'll stay on top of it. See, John, are any of you going to watch the Michigan Wolverines tomorrow night? I'm sure a lot of people are going to, for sure, 100%. Mike the Marine Gunny, Brad Holmes has his checkbook out and is preparing for injuries, and there will be a buyer at the trade deadline, week 9. Woo! Oh, yeah! Might be, man. I know in the past, while he hasn't pulled the trigger on any moves, he has made calls about stuff. He's even come out and confirmed, months later after the fact that, yes, we called the Carolina Panthers for Burns. Yes, we called, what was it? I'm trying to remember everybody. The Commanders about Sweat. I think they called also Jacksonville about Allen too, but just the asking price clearly were not in line with what he was willing to pay. Papa Noel, good morning to all! Exclamation point. 1 week away from the NFL beginning again. 100% true there. Trump's, did Betts get snagged or the Lions not sign him to practice squad? Did not sign him. He went back to Canadian League. Drake, Betts went back to Canada. Yes, correct. So no other NFL team wanted him either. there could be truth to that, or it could be maybe the offer they gave him wasn't enough to beat out the Canadian Lions, the BC Lions. Voltron Force, good morning all. Back at you, John. Brad Holmes theme song by Frank Sinatra. I did it my way. Probably a whole lot of truth to that, John. Let's see, Brent, good morning. Dan of the Duke Crew. Lions rule, Bears drool. Dub Bears drool. No bust here, only Super Bowl. Oh, yeah. And I'll go with that. Agreed, Brett. Good morning. Robert, Ben Johnson must, at all costs, keep in the fold. Coach of Destiny. There we go. Be kept in the fold. I'm down with that. Let's keep him if possible. See, Robert, greetings. Back at you. Patrick, greetings, salutations all. I have a feeling that as we were the first team to go 0-16 in the regular season, we also be the first team to go 17-0 in the regular season. Woo! And I take that in a New York minute, man. Let's make that happen. Brad Holmes is never done during the season. No, I think he's always looking. Doesn't matter the time of day or the season. He's always looking to improve. Dave, I like what you're thinking, Patrick. Agreed. Bo, good morning, Duke Crew. Woo! And good morning to you too, Bo. Don, Ben Johnson will eventually leave and spread his wings, which is only fair. Yeah, that's probably true. So take care of business now. Yeah, at some point, as long as I've coached, this is year 35 for me. Every assistant coach I've ever known is want to eventually elevate to become a head coach. So it happens. At some point, he's going to get the right deal. Let's see, Trump, if I was Johnson, I would get my Super Bowl in Detroit first, then move on. Could be. Patrick, Dave Bing, thumbing up. There you go. Yeah, don't forget to subscribe or hit the thumbs up button or like button. So small. I like our receiving core now. Yeah, it seems like it's pretty solid now. Can't say it's over the top. Can't say this or that, but I'd say it's definitely solid. If Jameson really breaks out, if Tim Patrick really recovers, heals, gets back to his old form, I think this receiving core, along with Khalif Raymond and Isaiah Williams, it will be tough to handle. See, Clark, what's up? What is up, crazies? Hey, just talking about the Detroit Lions. How about you, my friend? See, Patrick, good morning, Coach Dan. Woo! I was disappointed, and the Lions did not keep defensive end Betts. Oh, yeah. For whatever reasons, they didn't. So he went back to Canada. Robert, our team is about to embark on the season of, quote, destiny. Do you all feel it? I do, man. I really do feel this is going to be the year we get to the Super Bowl and win it. Pat, one more week, football. Oh, yeah, that's right. Tonight, 1 week from tonight. Brent, 'tis the season of, quote, unfinished business. Bring on the Rams, exclamation point. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Now I'll start doing prediction videos. I'm sure most of you guys watch it on YouTube, but the NFL guy that does the breakdown video on, each matchup for the upcoming week. I saw the Lions one. That's how I knew football season was back, that you start getting stuff like that. Trump's a genius. Hit the like. There you go. And thank you for that, by the way. Trey, what's got good Lions Talk Live peeps? I'm loving our team. I just don't see any weaknesses. Tell me I'm wrong if I'm missing it. No, I don't think you're missing it, man. There'll be some questions here and there for sure. But, the kicker, I know one of the radio shows had that yesterday. Somebody was talking about the kicker. He's going to make some mistakes. Every kicker does. But he's also, I think, with every week, if you trust the coaching staff, he's going to get exponentially better because he's only been a kicker really for about a year and a half. He's been a kickoff specialist in the past, but not a field goal kicker. So I think he's got a lot of upside. The wide receiver room, I believe it's been adjusted. It's been corrected. Yes, everybody wants another big name guy to come on in, but realistically, is that going to happen? Probably not. Offensive line looks real good. Defensive line looks real good. Linebackers look good. I mean, you go through everything on the team. I think we're as good a team as anybody in the NFL, and I think it would be real hard to debate somebody is clearly another team better than the Lions. Broski, good morning, Dan. I see this is going to be an early morning Kool-Aid session. I hope you have some sugar left since you take it so sweet. Yes, I do, man. Mountain Dew can't be any sweeter. At least from the fountain. I can't drink it from a can, man. That is too strong for me. Pat, I still not sold on Lions receivers after the top three. What do you think, Coach? I think they're pretty good. I do like Tim Patrick, and I get we're going to say, man, he's got to stay healthy. That's every NFL player. Anybody can go down at any time. I like Isaiah Williams. Can Donovan Peoples-Jones or Allen Robinson emerge to be the sixth option? I think one of them can. It may be on a week-to-week basis. Brad might still be cooking, as Don Burr is suggesting, trying to acquire somebody else too. that's totally possible as well. Big Eddie, greetings and salutations all back at you. J Mo, what do you got? G Mo, what do you got? Good Mo. Good morning, Duke Crew! Exclamation point. Repping the 313 down here in Cowgirl Country. I like it. And G Mo, I hope you're having a great morning, my friend. See, Tori, good morning, fellow Lions fans. Good morning to you too. One of the greatest point guards you've ever seen, by the way, right there. See, J Mo, go Lions, 100%. Robert Broski, go home. They're all right. Jess, what's good, Lions Talk Live family? Just having a little conversation with all of our friends to kick off the day. Stephanie, good morning, boys. Off to the gym, so I'll listen in today. One pride, exclamation point. Well, have a great morning, Steph, and hopefully it's a good day for you. Don, he's shaking in his boots. There you go. Ken, good morning, Coach and Duke Crew. Woo! Good morning, Ken. How's your day going? See, Michael, have a great workout, Stephanie. Or good workout, Stephanie. There we go. Frank the Tank, what up, though, Duke Crew? Woo, woo, woo. Go Lions. Southwest, good morning, all. Lions practice squad looks pretty good. Yeah, it's deep. You got guys on that squad, that practice squad, that can step in and help out anytime. That's what I like the most about it. There is a lot of talent on that squad. And kudos to the Detroit Lions. Kudos to Brad Holmes, the coaching staff. Kudos to how much this team's culture has changed. The perception has changed. The fact that all those dudes wanted to come here and just be on the practice squad, to be a part of this. Let that all sink in for each and every one of us. The Detroit Lions have changed. This is not the Matt Millen Detroit Lions. Pat, hey, Coach, I was hoping, is the Wood signed international player Louis Reese Zamet? He was a wide receiver, running back. Casey cut him. Can you have 17 players on the practice squad with one international player? Yeah, yes, you can. I'm assuming you got a little spell checked or whatever, auto-corrected in there. But yes, you can have a 17th if one of them is an international guy. France, good day, all. Finding more Lions fans over here in Germany the last several months. It's like Michigan East. There you go. There are a lot of Lions fans, it seems like, especially in Europe. So your area, France, I'm sure because of St. Brown and his family, I'm sure there's a strong correlation there. All right, Frank the Tank. Detroit Lions have been the best team all year, but we still got to take it one game at a time. We have 0 wins for 2024. Go Lions. I like the way you're thinking, Tank. That's when I coach, I always tell teams, doesn't matter the sport, you're 0 whatever until you get a win. And then you've got at least one win. So the goal is to eliminate losses, not just to predict wins. Good. Let's see. AJ, let's get those likes up, peeps. Yeah, I can't see it on my screen. We've got a little over 800 people watching on all platforms. So if you guys can take a half second of time, it's free of charge. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe button. Trump, too bad you can't. You can protect 4 players. We get sniped. Yeah, it's going to happen, man. They want some of these guys to get moved around and help the league out. So I get it. Robert, Coach, please consider bringing your brother Tim on the show as a guest. I will ask him and reach out to him for sure. I'll see what he has to say about it for sure. 100%. See, Don, folks, let's understand something. Yeah, Tim Patrick and Alan Robinson are older. One was often injured, but they were brought in with a plan in place. Sometimes it's first is better than a touchdown, a possession wide receivers. Yeah, could be some of that for sure. Matters. Yeah, I'm with you, Don. Bo, the master of the multi-dimensional chess, always has a plan. I will agree with that 100%, Bo. See, Hookadoo, good morning, Dan and the Duke Crew members. That are Lions fans. One pride. I see what you did there, Hookadoo. And yes, one pride. Good morning to you too. Eric, what's up, though, Duke Crew? Woo! What up, Eric? How you doing today? See, Don, down. All right. Frank the Tank, love the wide receivers they got. I know everybody wants that Brown guy. Come on, man. Go Lions. Yes, unfortunately, we can't have it all. See, Mr. Nico, this is our year. This is our time to shine. Many of the fans want to see a championship before they die, and this could be it. This indeed could be the year we do it. John, good morning, Bo Booth. There you go. The non-laughers, good to see you. It's been a minute. Pretty pleased with two. Pretty pleased with the 2 we're signing. Yeah, wide receivers with 2 wide receivers we signed. I got you there, and yes, I'm happy with them as well. Down possession wide receivers matters. Sometimes a first down is better than TD. Allen Robinson, Tim Patrick. Yeah, I'm liking them both so far. Liking them both. Ken, good morning, coach and crew. Birthday boy reporting for duty. Woo! Well, happy birthday, Ken, and hopefully you have an outstanding day. Matthew, I would protect Kingsley, Jamarco Jones, Tim Patrick, and Ukwa. Yeah, those are four good people to have protected. JK, first time we had depth, deep depth on roster and on practice squad roster. Yay. And yeah, I agree. We're deep everywhere. And we've got we've got a lot of guys on the second level of this team that could probably elevate at least the bottom third of the NFL to another standing. See, Bo, three big veteran wide receivers competing for the X spot in time for game one against Rams. I like it. Yeah, make people go ahead and compete. Get iron to sharpen iron. See, John, shake, rattle, and roll, 100%. Non-laughers celebrating my birthday with Dan and the Duke Crew, exclamation point. Woo! Oh, yeah. And hey, again, happy birthday. Motown, greetings, salutations, Coach and Duke Crew, Lions rule, Bears drool. I'm down with that. As always, Mitch, by the way. Don, back when this rebuild first started, our practice squad was our starting team. There's a whole lot of truth to that. Gunny, happy birthday. The back at you. Yep. Coach Rock, good morning. All just saying time will tell it all for the team Brad has put together. Yes, it all sounds good right now. It all looks good. You're going to have to wait and see what it shakes out once the season gets here. Broski, Broncos and Bears scraps matter. Tim Patrick hopping on one leg. Allen Robinson washing his laundry because he's washed up. You know, Broski, I'd say this. You guys just got a player from us that we booted out of here. So back at you, brother. John, happy birthday. Burger time. Good morning, all. Quick to the line sign down of Peoples Jones to the practice squad. Yes, they did. Though I have not had something confirmed from the team. It's being reported by different outlets. Let's see, Southwest Line. Dan, the NFL teams protect up to 4 players from being poached from practice squads each week. They can, yes, protect up to 4. All right, I'm going to see if he is ready for us. Let's give us a try, bring our special guest of the day. So without further ado, let's head on over to our special guest. All right, most of you guys have seen his works before. He's all over YouTube, does a great job analyzing and breaking down different things from different teams. So our special guest of the day is Derek from All 22 Films. Let me get the comment section off the screen just for a second here. Let's see if I can figure this out and fix it. One moment, por favor. All right, there we go. And now we'll add him to the stage. So, Derek, how you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing great, man. How are you?
You know, not too bad, thank you. So let's talk a little bit about the Detroit Lions. Obviously, this is a Lions channel. So Lions added some players to the practice squad. Lions added a big name wide receiver, at least if he's healthy. What are your thoughts on Tim Patrick?
I like Tim Patrick. I did a video on him in the preseason before he signed with the Lions, obviously. And then I have to admit, I changed the name of it once he did sign with the Lions. And some people were like, "Hey, this is amazing. You called this signing." No. I tricked the algorithm, so, but I like him. He's a 6'4" guy. I like his story. Primarily, and when the Ravens went to Denver in 2021, I believe 2 weeks after they went to Detroit in 21 and won on that last second field goal, and I scouted the Broncos to the extent that I can. And Tim Patrick, big receiver, big body receiver. I really like his game. I like his story even more because he's trying to come back from injury after 2 years. Most guys at that point are forgotten, and they gave him a chance to play in the preseason. I feel like he played quite well, particularly the game that I did a video of. But it turns out that, the Broncos were just giving him a cameo, right, to show him off so that other teams could potentially trade for him, and nobody bit. So credit to, from what I understand, it sounds like Patrick waived part of his salary or something like that. I'm not exactly sure. Right. But and the Lions were able to take him on at a low price point. To me, he looks like a guy that could be on the roster if he's healthy. He certainly appeared to be healthy in the preseason. So I don't see any reason for Lions fans to not be excited, particularly with his pedigree and his size. Such a weird dynamic that Josh Reynolds goes to Denver and then Tim Patrick ends up coming back here. So ironic and so unusual. So I'm excited because I think he can play.
Well, I think the reason, just like you said, you basically pulled off a trade there between the two teams for him. Patrick, from what I could see preseason, you already mentioned it, looked real strong. I got word from a couple different media sources, whatever it was, Tuesday or like right around 3:00, that I think it was the Bengals and Lions were both calling and talking to Denver about potentially making that trade. For whatever reason, it didn't work out. But at the end of the day, like you alluded to, he ends up coming to Detroit anyways. So how much do you think this has an impact throughout the season on Detroit's offense? Obviously, a lot of talent on the offensive side, some question marks once the cut downs happened with Detroit's wide receiving core. But you add him in, now Allen Robinson, bring back Donovan Peoples-Jones. Detroit's receiving core still kind of shaky, or do you think they're pretty stable at this point?
Let's do it this way. Let's say that everyone stays healthy. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams, and Khalif Raymond, then you may not need Tim Patrick. And I actually don't believe that. I think that even in a world where those three guys stay healthy and play all 16 or 17 games, I say 16 games because just like the Ravens, I expect the Lions to be a team that in the final regular season game is looking to rest people because their positioning for the playoffs is almost secured. So I think Tim Patrick, even in that scenario, if all three of those guys are healthy, still could get on the field. I think he has that type of talent. If you look at the film, which unfortunately in this case is from 2021 or 2020 and 2021. So in the football world, that's a long time ago, right? But the film from the preseason was somewhat commensurate with that. We didn't see big plays down the field. Like, the one thing that I think to replace is the 18 to 20 yard or maybe 15, 18, 20 yard dig routes that Josh Reynolds would make those catches on. And in some cases, those catches were 3rd and 6, 3rd and 8. That portion of his contribution, could Tim Patrick provide all of that? I'm not sure he could provide all of it, but he has the ability, he has the size, and he's got good hands from my knowledge of scouting him, again, 3 years ago, early in the 2021 season.
Right.
I like the practice squad group. I don't know about you.
So let's talk about the Lions as a 53-man roster and then include the practice squad. If today's topic is, you may have seen the thumbnail, I think the Lions are now in the conversation for definitely having one of the league's, if not the league's best overall roster. It's in the conversation. If you were to Scooby-Doo it and try to find holes in the roster, where would you look?
What is Melifonwu's status? I didn't hear that. I know, is it Brandon Joseph made the team, right?
Correct. As far as if status, it's up in the air. The MCDC has been very vague about it. He could be back this week. He could never be back, this season. So what he is, I guess it's a guess at this point.
So sorry for interrupting you. I got me personally, based on the small sample size that I saw in the preseason, I've got a huge difference between Melifonwu and Brandon Joseph. And that's a small sample size, but to me, playmaking ability, length, ability to play through contact and have disciplined eyes. I was not where is Joseph? You asked me to nitpick, so that's what I'm doing. Because otherwise I think you're talking about a very deep roster. I forget the podcast group's name right now. It's escaping me. I only did it a week ago, but it seems like a month ago. But I asked them on their show, I said, how does it feel as a Lions fan to now be in this position where you're nitpicking at spot number 49 or spot number 50. Right. And so I'll ask you that here in a minute, but to answer your question, I would say that's the spot, the position that for me, I would identify as I don't want to say a potential weakness, but one for me. I saw 3 instances in the preseason where I thought Joseph had extremely poor eye discipline and could be taken advantage of. And, I think there's a huge difference if he's on the field versus Melifonwu. And I may be wrong on the safety depth chart. Maybe there's, more guys ahead of Joseph than I thought, and there's no chance he gets on the field, but he just doesn't look ready to me.
Now, make sure I'm on the same page. You're talking Brandon Joseph, not Kirby Joseph.
40. Yeah, 40. Yeah.
Yep. Just want to make sure. So, yeah. I would agree with you. Like, I used to cover the Lions in the late 80s, 90s, and early 2000s for various different news outlets and such. And this is probably, in my estimation, the deepest team we've had probably at least since the early 90s. But after the early 90s, the mid 90s, the Lions haven't had anything like this that I can readily think of. So I think you're spot on. They're pretty deep. With the practice squad, it does seem like it's pretty talented. A lot of guys that I'm surprised, like, Jamarco Jones. I thought another team, especially in a league where it seems like about half the teams really need more offensive linemen. I was surprised he didn't land somewhere else. I think the guy can actually start on some weaker offensive lines, be a good, strong backup in Detroit. Are there any surprises on the practice squad that you were intrigued stayed here versus departing for other places?
Interesting question. I mean, Donovan Peoples-Jones for me, I thought, but I understand he's from Michigan originally, right?
Yeah.
So I guess it makes sense from that standpoint. I hope for the guy that he is able to produce and able to play to his potential. Let me put it that way. Whatever his potential is at this point, he's a guy I've talked about in my videos where the Ravens faced him for I think 2 years, 2021 and 2022, and he made plays against us. I mean, he made plays against us in a high percent efficiency. What I mean by that is it seemed like most games he was 5 for 5 catches targets or 4 for 5, and 50, 60 yards. And in the perception I had in my mind was this is an athletic guy with big play potential. And, for him to be on the field with the Lions a little bit last year and then in this preseason, we haven't seen that at all. That has not been the dynamic at all. And I don't mean to denigrate the dude, but I was a little surprised that he came back because maybe he didn't have other options, to be honest with you.
That could be. It does seem like when he was with Cleveland, he had some real strong seasons, and some of their quarterback play during his stay wasn't always the greatest. You could even argue when he was at the University of Michigan, some of the quarterback play wasn't the greatest. That's why I'm a little surprised that he's dropped off so exponentially over the time. When you watch them on film nowadays, do you see anything that's a cue to you that leads to that downfall?
2 of the routes from the preseason, he just didn't win to the correct leverage side, and that seems like a basic thing, So, okay, are there times where the DB understands the route that's possibly coming, maybe the combination, so he's going to jump to the inside and take away that dig route or take away that slant? Yeah, but there's two routes. One that's an in-breaking route at about 12 to 14 yards, and one that's a little speed out that he's not able to. One that's a deep route that he's not able to get to the correct leverage side. So there's not even really a chance to catch the ball, and that to me stuck out. I was like, all right, that doesn't look like a fourth wide receiver on a really good NFL team, or even a fifth wide receiver on a really good NFL team. Like you alluded to earlier with weaker teams, maybe a guy could go start. He doesn't look like that kind of guy. Tim Patrick, to me, just based on a preseason, looks like a guy that could go to another NFL team and get on the field some.
Since you do analyze film so much, I'd want to get your takes on this. And anybody who's watched our show for a little bit, Lions Talk Live, been a part of the Do Crew, they all get it. I'm a huge James Houston fan. When I watch him, I see some weaknesses for sure, without question. But what I see is right with him is so right that I just don't want to move on from him. But you being neutral, when you watch James Houston, what do you see?
Well, first of all, maybe you don't know I'm not neutral. I'm a huge James Houston #4 fan, so I've come to the right place.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, starting Thanksgiving Day in 2022, the burst and the get off was different.
Yeah.
Even I think I did a video off season 2022, before last year, before the 2023 season when he got hurt, unfortunately. And I compared, from the end zone angle and the all 22, I compared his get off to Aiden Hutchinson's. And we would do this, and some people aren't going to like this, but this is what we would do to evaluate defensive ends or outside linebackers. Sometimes we would, if we were fortunate enough to get a view that was directly in line with the camera, so we could see the line of scrimmage straight down the line of scrimmage. And sometimes we would set up practice footage to do this. We want to see the get off, so we're gonna do the get off multiple times, maybe 6-8 times in plays. So we're facing an offensive lineman, and then we're going to record that, and later on we're going to pause 0.8 seconds in, 0.5 seconds in, or 1.2 seconds in and see who's the furthest up the field. We're just looking for burst, so you can time it with, with stuff that they do with the combine and such, but we want to see it with pads on, and we want to see it when you're confronted with an offensive lineman. And in that video between 2022 and 2023, I would pause the video consistently, and he's further upfield than Hutchinson by a half a yard. And so the ability to do the speed rush, and you're not going to win all the time with a speed rush. I reject categorically win-loss rates for edge defenders, because sometimes you have a hard-coded edge rush as a part of the stunt or the blitz, and so you're told to go to the top side. And in that case, you may, quote, lose according to a rating service, but you're accomplishing your responsibility in terms of the overall stunt. And so I'm not a huge fan of those things. I think James Houston #4 provides something that no one else on the roster provides, other than Aiden Hutchinson, obviously, which is the ability to win to the top side. And the outside, and I don't see any other guys who can do that consistently. Marcus Davenport is a good player when healthy, but the film that I saw from last year, 2023, when he was healthy, was he's very active and very disruptive. In week 4 and week 5, I thought he played great. Nonetheless, not a quintessential edge rusher that's going to win to the outside and can get you 8 to 10 sacks. James Houston IV, in my opinion, has that as a ceiling. It seems like right now he's very inconsistently reaching that ceiling. It almost looks like a graph that has high variability up and down. And from a day-to-day basis, you don't know exactly what you're going to get. Sorry for the long answer, but
you're fine, man. You're totally fine.
we're of one accord here. I
Right.
think he's got a great talent. I thought there was zero chance that he didn't make this roster. Zero.
Are you surprised other teams haven't, at least not that we know of, but are you surprised other teams haven't tried to acquire him?
Well, maybe not right now. In the last year and a half, absolutely. So, for example, like this time last year, a year ago plus 1 week, when we're approaching roster cuts for 2023, I remember people Lions fans have been just, so kind and professional and courteous with me when I have had missteps or been uninformed, because I don't have the time to watch the news. I just don't.
Sure.
A year ago plus 1 week, there was discussion. Hey, is he going to make this roster? I'm like, guys, there's no way he doesn't make this roster. Like, this is ridiculous. And I remember thinking, hey, if they released him, my Ravens would love to have him.
Yeah.
Love to have him. And I can't imagine that other people don't see the traits. Now, is he he looks a little bit more top heavy this year? Is that professional weight gained in terms of strength and explosiveness? Is it unprofessional weight gained? I don't suspect that, but I don't know. They're wearing pads. It's football. So he looks a little heavier up top to me. How does that impact his burst? I think in best case scenario, you play James Houston IV, 16, 18, 22 snaps a game, somewhere in that range, depending on how many 3rd and 6s and 2nd and 9s you're seeing. And you see what you get out of him early on. You got cap room to address the pass rush situation if you need to before the trade deadline. I do think that specific position has a very intentional plan in that regard. So that's my response to that. Hopefully that makes sense. Tell me what you think.
Oh, totally fine. When I watch him and I evaluate him, so the first thing I watch is someone with his position, how much can they bend and contort with a player like him? What can he use his God-given physical skills to cause a disadvantage for any kind of blocker or blocker assignments? And what he does, especially with bigger tackles, he puts them at a real bad situation because they almost have to bend and lean and lose balance to pick him up because his dip is so just insanely good. And I get, because of that, with the type of injury he had, he may take a little bit longer to heal because he puts so much tort or pressure on that lower ankle to hold. If that thing heals, I think he's at the very worst in his career. He is a massive 3rd down threat anytime it's 3rd and long, because he's putting any kind of single block coverage on the line at jeopardy. And if you don't slide somebody else to chip block to help slow him down, he's probably going to cause a problem for a quarterback, especially a less mobile one. When I'd watch him also chase people, his speed, his burst, his 3-step technique, when he wants to chase a quarterback down, once he's collapsed the pocket, there's just not many guys who are going to get away from him. And I don't care if it's Lamar Jackson, Justin Fields, or whoever. He's got rare athleticism. So that's my thoughts on him. All right.
Absolutely.
One last question, and I'll let you get on out of here. But the lot was made this offseason about Detroit's secondary. It wasn't great last year by any stretch of the imagination. Being as neutral as you can be, evaluating this Lions secondary now, where would you rank it in the NFL pantheon? Is it near the top, near the middle, near the bottom? What are your thoughts?
I mean, I don't know if I'm very good at that particular thing, the last portion of your question. I'll say this. I think I was quite neutral when you initially signed Carlton Davis III. I did a film study evaluation, and I was neutral, and I think I was balanced. I think he's still a very good player, and health permitting, obviously. And I think I was still maintaining neutrality when you signed Amik Robertson, who is a player that I also like a lot. And then when you draft Terrion Arnold and Ennis Rakestraw Jr., I'm way past neutral. I mean, there's a depth of talent there that is, again, you've got a lot more experience than me with the Lions. There's a depth of talent there that's obvious. in safeguarding against injury.
Yeah.
There's also guys there who are good at man-to-man defense. Sure, of course. I mean, Amik and Carlton Davis III are. But I think that Terrion Arnold, anyone that comes from Alabama's system and that cover 7 system, where they're going to play split field coverages often and they're going to pattern read or route match, whatever phrase people want to use for it, you're going to get a versatile, smart football player. And I think you've got that as well in Carlton Davis III and Amik Robertson. I know less about Ennis Rakestraw Jr., but I know he looks extremely athletic on film in college.
Yeah.
And I could be wrong here because there were so many players that I scouted, but I believe when he went to the combine and ran, there was a suggestion and stories out there that he was injured to some extent.
Right.
So that possible attribution to the slower 40 time. I think that you've got a fantastic potential at the outside corner position. Robertson probably going to play, more nickel or corner, slot corner. And when you combine that with Brian Branch and Joseph and what Melifonwu can bring, I think you've got a very deep secondary. You have to tell me how it compares to other secondaries in the past. I'm not talking about 2022 and 2023. I
Right.
I saw those secondaries. There's no reason for me to disparage them. It's a world of difference in my videos. I have said that I think the floor this year for the let's just do outside corners. The floor for the outside corners is higher than the ceiling was last year. And I happen to think highly of Kendall Vildor. I do. And I think he's a competitor. And when he's your when he's your, I guess, would he be your 4th or 5th outside corner?
Probably fifth, 6th in that battle.
I mean, that's, to me, you're in a good situation because I look at him as a guy who, if you did release, that someone else is going to pick him up. I like that group out there a lot. So it's hard for me to remain neutral. I feel like I'm just going to state what I see. I can't help that. My family background is Irish and Scottish. We're pretty direct. So, that's what I see. I don't know that I have the ability to remain neutral at this point. My expectations are high. If you go out there and you give up 35 points in week 1 against the Rams, I think that you should be disappointed. If you go out there and give up 24 points against the Rams, 23 like last year, I think there should still be a level of, I don't want to say disappointment, but we're not there yet.
Right.
To me, with the talent that's been acquired on this defense and the inside linebacker depth that was already there, I don't see any reason why you shouldn't be trying to hold people to 19 points or less on a weekly basis with this defense. That might be a new world. What was it, 2014 or 2015 was the last really, really, really good Lions defense? I think you should be aiming for that.
Okay. I'm okay with that. All right. Why don't you go ahead and give yourself a shout out, tell everybody about yourself, where they can find you, find out your works, check out your stuff. And I will say this, Derek, you do a great job of what you put out there. I enjoy your videos and, spread the word about your channel.
Thank you, man. I don't know. I really appreciate it. First of all, having me on. I think it was Ken and a couple other guys in my Lions Discord started messaging me a little bit, maybe 2 weeks ago, asking me to come on. So thank you. I run a YouTube channel, All 22 Films. I had a previous channel that got deleted for copyright reasons. So this has been a quick rebuild in the last, I think, 2 years, and I just feel very blessed to be able to do it. I love breaking down the film. I'm somewhat obsessive. Maybe you are too. And I enjoy trying to create content that people like to watch. I like the feedback loop. If it's a good piece of content, people will tell you. If it sucks, people will tell you. You know what I mean? And so I like that feedback loop and trying to alter or change the approach at times. So I also run a Twitter channel. It's primarily Ravens stuff, but I think at this point, your people that are listening who are familiar with my channel can let you know. Originally, after 2022, I was thinking 60-40 in terms of my time spent, and I would say now it's probably approaching 50-50 because I wanted to challenge myself and learn more about the game of football. And now I'm having so much fun that it'll never stop until I find a better gig or until my wife tells me to.
Listen to the wife, my friend. Listen to the wife. Absolutely. All right. Well, I want to thank you for coming on the show. Yeah. If you ever need anything in return, by all means, say the word. And if you ever want to come on again, hey, don't be afraid to reach on out. So appreciate you coming on today.
Yeah, thank you. I don't know about the 7 a.m. or 7:30 thing, but I first of all, I commend you for doing this so early in the morning. I think it's strategically brilliant to gather people this early. It really shows you that I know some content creators who will not release content or do anything early in the morning, and I feel like it's a missed opportunity at times. So this is fantastic. Your Lions fan base gets to have a place to interact. ESPN, even local news stations are going to spend maybe 2 minutes talking about your team. You've got the better part of an hour. So I'm very impressed, and I commend you for putting this platform together on a consistent basis.
Well, thanks for that, man. Thanks for that. I have to get up and start working 4:35 in the morning. So this just gives me a little break before the work day really begins. So
Absolutely.
it's good. So, all right, my friend, we'll see you on the next one. And thanks for coming on.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it, man.
All right, Dude Crew, let's head over to the comments section. Get it going back on over to you guys. Dimitri, Kurt Steele, what up, though? Flintstone, 100%. Broski, Bear, Moonscar, Blade. Is Jameson's case or year 2, I guess? I would say it's year 2 for him. And, hey, how many of us really realize Jameson Williams is not small? He's 6'2". Yes, he's not a big-bodied wide receiver, but he is a tall guy. You're going to throw him out there with St. Brown at 6 foot. You're going to throw, I'm assuming at some point, Tim Patrick out there at 6'4", 6'5", depending on where you go to see his height. So the Lions do have some size out there. Plus, don't forget our tight end room as well. Bo, same old Lions, same old story, same old song. We'll go with all the above. All right. Kurt Steele, Dimitri Stewart, what up, though? Brent, Lions didn't improve, ? Really, broski? Shake my head. Yeah, I would say we've improved massively. And I know I saw in the comment section a couple of people asking about the blank screen. Yeah, that's just on Derek's part. He wanted a blank screen. So, all right, Don Elgato and Broski are the same person. He's using a phone and laptop. It could be. It could be. Let's see. Moonscar, I used to look for the receivers when drafted for fantasy football and made the playoffs in my league 90% of the time because of it. Okay. See, Kurt Steele, Don Bird laughing. Elgato laughing out loud. I don't know who that is. Brad should have drafted a wide receiver, just getting more injured players. I think Brad Holmes went into the season with a plan. Just my opinion. You look at what is shaken out, and we've talked about it before on the show. You have so many teams that have overloaded the wide receiver room that wide receivers were getting cut, and some pretty good ones. You have a lot of teams scrambling for offensive line, defensive line, and secondary. And what did the Lions load up on? Offensive line, defensive line, and secondary. So they knew they would be able to get teams to give them what they wanted for this season. See, Elgato, like a hospital. Hey, let's try to not spend too much time there. Moonscar, JMO, yeah, it's called a year 2, 2.6. Yeah, I mean, the first year was here. I get it, man. He got maybe a few games in at the end of the year coming back from the ACL, but that would have been highly monitored, no off season, etc. Just sort of like with Hendon Hooker, I don't really count that year either as his rookie year. This is really, to me, his rookie year. See, Don, Lions with Gibbs, Laporta, Hutchinson, Branch, Jack Campbell, Aleem are all going into years 2 and 3. Will make Detroit improvement better alone. Yeah, as they continue to rise, and I'm with you, Don. None of those guys are yet at their physical peak. They haven't really hit their primes yet, so their upside is still occurring. See, Southwest, Donovan Peoples-Jones just wasn't getting the separation. No, he wasn't, man. And I don't know. I'd have to do a deep dive if he still can get it, but we'll wait and see. Okay, well, moving on from the naysayers. Kurt Steele, the chat crawling with non-Lions fans is weird. Like I've said before, it's strange in my humble opinion. Yeah, guys, I mean, if you're going to be Debbie Downer or whatever, just don't do that stuff, man. I mean, hey, if it makes you feel better to be negative, and great. I would say go have a Mountain Dew. Pick yourself up, man. Come on, slap yourself in the face. Throw some hot water on your face. Do whatever you got to do to wake up. But waking up every day and just being negative about life, it's probably not going to be a very happy day then for you. All right, Don, Broski, Lotto, how are you agreeing with yourself? This is a question. Yep. Michael, we got Jeff Risden last night told fans not to ever expect JMO to move like he did before the injury. He's working hard to get back, but isn't the same player. All right, we'll go with that. I mean, he could be right, he could be wrong. I'm not sure. See, Bo, Kitty Fudge trolling under the bridge. Something strange is brewing among us SOL types. All right. Let's see, JK, Dre jealous. Kurt, it could be. See, Southwest Lion in Houston has had injuries. I'm rooting for him. Wondering if he has regressed from his multi-year. We'll have to wait and see. The only way to answer that question, I think, is just see what shakes out this season. See, Dimitri, Dan, they say Donovan Peoples-Jones plays out of his mind when he played with the first team in camp. What do you think? I don't know if he's going to get many first-team reps this particular season, so we're going to have to wait and see, Dimitri. Wait and see what he does in the season. Really, what you do in the games at this point are really what going to stand up and figure out. All right, see, Ed, good morning, Coach and Duke Crew. Has the team started to practice together, and they getting ready for the first game? Yes, they have. And I think my guess is Arnold either got back in the practice squad, Terry Arnold yesterday, or practice field yesterday, or it will today before the little bit of a break before they come back. See, Fred Broski Bear, the Lions improved tremendously. I would agree with that. There's no way anybody can't see that. Saying the Bears improved that much is a very homer take. There could be a whole lot of truth there. See, Don, Kurt, they are scared, exclamation point. When we were bad, we seen no ops. Okay, we'll go with that. See, Kurt Broski Bear, nice try. I've been hosting Lions content on YouTube since 2018. Yes, he has. See, Bo, doing the job, fit the grit, another brick in the wall, 100%. See, Don Brisky talking to himself, El Gato. All right. Michael, hey, Kurt, the whole NFL is looking up to the Lions now. That's probably also true. Kurt Broski Bear, not sensitive people turn into watch Lions content on these channels. Yeah. I mean, if you're going to, Broski, I'm just going to say this to you, and same with Elgato. If you're just going to be Debbie Downers, if you're going to just be naysayers, I'm probably going to have to put you in timeout like a little kid. This is a Lions content channel, not a Bears channel. I get you think highly of the Bears. Maybe they do improve. Maybe they fall on their face. This is a Lions channel, so please respectfully respect that. Other than that, I've got to put you in timeout. Say, Doug, I love watching Mr. 22 regularly. He actually studies at a depth rarely seen. Nice to have him on here, Dan. Yeah, thanks for that. Wait. Had to sneeze. Sorry. Southwest Houston would have been claimed by another NFL team had the Lions cut him from the 53. I agree with that 1,000%. Ken, Southwest agreed. Southwest, no doubt the Lions have improved on paper, but so has the other NFL teams. This is going to be a real dogfight. It will be. I think the NFC North is going to be a real fine show. See, Bo, I love it when a plan comes together, 100%. The Southwest, there are different types of fans, but you can be a fan and be critical of certain moves and not just blue sky everywhere. Yeah, I agree with that. Just to, if you're going to be a Bears fan coming here all the time, and not that Broski is it all the time, but there's got to be a time where you kind of pull back at least somewhat. All right, a couple more here, and then I'm out of here. Big M, good morning. Dan and the Duke Crew, pumped and ready for the season, feeling good about the team, except edge rush opposite Hutch. Davenport, Houston, and company is sus. Davenport is Red Cross walking. He has an injury history for sure. Bo, Houston has closing time burst. Yes, he does. Bo, good morning, Dan and crew. Thanks for all you do. Hey, anytime, and I hope you enjoy it, my friend. Perryman, too true, Kurt. There we go. And let's see, try to get a few more in here that haven't been on here. Michael, let's get to Michael. Looks like Broski is a Karen platform kind of person. Could be. Fred, the secondary definitely improved over the last season's secondary, proving the secondary will give this front line more time to get to the quarterback. Also very true. D13, wide receiver room pass. J-Mo is highly questionable. O-line depth kicker are all question marks still for Lions. Fair enough. See, Canadian Dad, what do you got? No way. Love all 22. I'll go with that. All right, a couple more here. The Stoners perspective, a great discussion. Thanks for that, man. Patrick is a plus. I'll go with that. Courtney, great analyst. Thanks from the Duke Crew. 100% from all of us in the Duke Crew. All right, Chuck E. Cheese. Good morning, Coach and crew. A little late this morning. No power for 2 days. Good now, man. Are the Lions deep? Allen Robinson, question mark. Is that right? He is a part of the team. Correct. And glad you got your power back. Lions bad guy. Bold prediction. Juicy J comes in and takes wide receiver. Wide receiver 4 in week 10. Okay. Reality Mike, well-spoken. Every day is a good day. I have a Mountain Dew if you need one. Yeah, I'll be going out to get mine here pretty quick. Pound the drums, 22 is great. Yes, he is. Does a real phenomenal job with stuff. All right, Matthew, thumbs up, Football Lions. Thanks for getting Derek on anytime. Let's see, Rowdy Mike, does the fridge still pay for them? Could be. All right, guys, happy trails, says Brent, One Prime. I'll go ahead and get out of here. If you haven't yet subscribed, please consider doing so. If you would be so kind as you're checking out, hit that thumbs up button, the like button. Also, if there is some sort of breaking news later today, I'll get it over to you as fast as possible. Otherwise, take care. Enjoy your day. Do something nice for someone you don't know. Be kind to others. We'll see you all in the next Lions Talk Live. Take care, everybody.
Happy trail.